welcome back to Y&R For Life, where we talk about all things Y&R related. We talk about what's going on, my predictions, what I think's going to happen. Hey, we've been talking about fashion on this show from time to time because I'm a big time fashion girl, so we got to spill the tea about that. If you're new to this channel, my question is, what took you so long to get here? And if you are returning, what's up? Long time no see. You know, I'm going to say that this week had a little bit of a mix of it was pretty good and pretty boring. But at least we saw something substantial within there. And that is all thanks to Audra and Claire. But we're going to get into that. Couple of disclaimers. If you don't want to know what's going on, you kind of want to get caught up on your own, this may not be what you want to see or hear, but I am so grateful that you are here. And if I happen to not mention anything in particular, it could be because I plumb forgot, or it just really wasn't newsworthy in my opinion, so I didn't bother mentioning it. It is what it is, nature of the beast, that's what I like to call it. And lastly, if you do like what you see, you do like what you hear, it would be so kind if you hit that like and subscribe down below. And also don't forget to hit that bell notification so that you don't miss a single video that I post here on Y&R For Life. All right, let's get into the skinny. And I'm just going to kind of gloss over things this week because, there was a lot of stuff. And again, I'm going to say that Claire and Audra were, for me, the highlight of the week. All right. So it kind of started off with Audra speaking to Kyle in, I think it was Society. And she's going back and forth with Kyle, going on about, you were in my bed in Nice. And, it could have gone further than what it did. And this is on you. And he's like, you're a lunatic. You're crazy. Like, what's going on? Okay, fast forward. She just like, if I wanted to seduce you, I could do it. And she grabs him by his shirt and jacket and just brings him in and starts on this guy. She's kissing this guy left, right, and center. And that's how we had left it the prior week. But now we've picked it back up. And I said at the time, well, it was either he was going to be like pushing her off, like, what, are you crazy? Or he was going to fall for it. Well, he does what I thought he was going to do. He pushes her off. This is just, I guess, around the time that Claire happened to walk in. Because, this is what happens. They just happen to walk in at these particular moments where things can be misconstrued, the whole 9 yards. This is so planned. This is what happens. So yes, Claire walks in and sees Audra putting the big blah blah on Kyle, and he pushes her off and was like, "What the hell, Audra? Like, are you insane?" Well, she is, but okay. She's so desperate at this point. Again, this is because Victor, ixnayed her Vibrante story. And so she is like on high alert trying to kind of get back what in her mind she feels that's owed to her. Oh boy, whatever. So he's like, what? What? And Claire's like, yeah, I'd like to know what's going on. Like, what is this? So he's like, Claire, she did this. Like, I had nothing to do with this. He's like, I would never. Side note, what do you mean you would never? You did. This is what you don't want it. Because if this was an issue, you would have said something to Claire already about what you did. But no, you're not going to do that because you don't want to mess things up. Because I've said it before and I will say it again, Kyle. You went too far, but okay. Anyway, so Audra basically piles on towards Claire about how, I don't know why you're with this guy, this is what happened, basically he can't be trusted, and look how easy it was, and there's something between the two of them. Oh, she just went on. She blithered on with kind of basically making Kyle out to be the bad guy, which he kind of is. But again, that's just my opinion. All right, so Claire is now left reeling over what she just saw, and Kyle's like, she's crazy. I would never do anything with her. You know, I'm so with you. Like, basically, you are my present, you are my future, this kind of thing. So of course Claire's like, yeah. Now, much like what she had said to Victoria, or Victoria anyway had spoken to her last time about, are you starting to doubt Kyle? Yeah, Claire, see, now, and I've said this before, Claire is gonna turn into like evil Claire before, not, yeah, very soon. And I just felt it, and this is the perfect example, and it's the perfect time. All right, so we leave the two, Audra and Kyle. That's done with. Now again, Claire is sitting back. She is fuming, rightfully so. Well, let's finish with Claire. So basically, at some point in time, Claire meets up with, actually, there was one time she had gone back to the house, and Victoria was there with that rusty, dusty outfit that, oh my God, I know. Luckily, she changed it throughout the week. But anyway, so Nate was over at Victoria's place. Claire walks in and was just about to tell Victoria about what happened at society when she sees Nate. Oh, hey, Nate. Oh, I didn't know you're here. Oh, yeah. He's like, yeah, I was talking to your mom, and which again, those two are gonna get back together, Victoria and Nate. Just watch and see. It's gonna happen. Mark my words. And if I'm wrong, okay, but I don't know. I believe wholeheartedly they're gonna get back together. Okay. So yeah, so Claire doesn't say anything to Nate because Victoria kind of stops her in her tracks and was like, yeah, oh, yeah, he was over here because of, the support with Damien, and support to Cole and the whole 9 yards, and isn't that nice of him? And oh yeah. So Claire kind of, holds her tongue, doesn't say anything, and yeah. But don't think for a minute that Claire is not gonna go all cray on Audra, because it's a coming. Anyway, at some point in time, Claire meets up with Nikki at, I think it was Crimson Lights. She's all kind of like in a fog. That is Claire, that is. And Nikki's like, oh, hi, honey. They start talking. She basically says that she is through with Grandpa, and like he has burnt the bridges where they're concerned, and she basically doesn't want anything to do with Victor. And it's because he's been throwing shade at Kyle, and not only throwing shade at Kyle, but like in her presence, and basically embarrassing the guy like in front of people. Now, if I was Claire, I would feel the same way. So I don't blame her, not one bit. And even Nikki was like, I kind of don't blame you. I know his heart is in the right place, but yes, his execution is awful. He's done it to Victoria, but Victoria has found a way to see the good. And she's like, I may be my mother's child, but yeah, she ain't like me. Understandably so, because she was raised by Crazy Jordan. So absolutely, she has now been molded into a certain mentality, and you can't expect at this age, that whatever age she's at, but you can't expect at this age for her to, I don't know, now learn this new, it's like trying to teach a dog new tricks. It's I don't know, an old dog, sorry, new tricks, because they've already been set in their ways. Just me, just my opinion. But she basically is like, yeah, okay, grandma, that may be so, and it is what it is, but I also, I'm dealing with that, but I'm also dealing with something even worse than that. So she basically tells her about Audra and how she caught her kissing Kyle, and Nikki was like, what? She's like, oh yeah, and now she's really trying to stick it to me, and I intend to pay her back. Well, she's like, don't worry, grandma, I'm not going to turn into Jordan. That's who she was. That's not going to be me. But I do intend to basically get her back for this. And so she said she's just waiting for a Nate to get back, because I don't know, it's not like she didn't see him, but get back, I guess, to himself, if you will, after Damien's funeral. Again, we never saw Damien's funeral. We never saw Chance's funeral. We didn't see Cole's funeral. I don't know what's going on. At least we saw something where, did we see Heather? I feel like we did see something for Heather, but I mean, what's with this? Anyway, so back to that, she just is like, yeah, when Nate gets back, I'm going to let him know how horrible his girlfriend is, because I don't know why he's with her, but I can't even believe that a good guy like that even loves her. But okay. She's like, I am going to make sure that he knows. And I can mark it on the calendar. That's exactly what she's going to do. 100%. Meanwhile, concerning Nate, he's already been back from, I think it was Chicago, burying Damien. Amy is in a mess. She ain't eating much. And him and Audra were in Chancellor Park. And he basically was like, yeah, this is really sad what happened. And, I just found out about my brother, and now he's gone, blah, blah, blah. So then he's like, let me just kind of change courses when it comes to this conversation. I just want to know, Audra, what went on with you and Vibrante? Like the fact that, you and Victor are no longer in partnership here. What's going on? And of course, it was like deer caught in headlights where Audra was concerned. And she was just dipsy-dooling around the conversation. And every time Nate was like, yeah, but this doesn't make any sense, dipsy-doodle she went. And it got to the point where he was like, okay, basically, I'll let this go with what you're saying, but at the end of the day, I just want you to be aware. I know there's something further that you don't want to tell me. Why that is, I don't know, but it doesn't sit well with me. Bravo, Nate. She is a shyster. And she is now grasping at straw. She basically is just like, yeah, hopefully one day I'll get my own money to fund it. And, but in the interim, I'm going to work with Sally at Abbott Communications. Wait, what? I know Sally said something about, why don't you come work for me? But nothing has happened with Abbott Communications as yet. So I'm confused. And even Nate was like, pardon? Yeah. So she is just lie all over the place. But that's Audra for you. I don't know if her personality is going to change. She had her just small fleeting moment of niceness where Amy is concerned. She had like a couple tears come down her cheek. But now she is still Audra. You almost forget that her and Noah were together. Like, that's to tell you how, like, she's just crazy. Anyway, so we did see, like, I'm going to say like a little side plate of Nick, which shout out to whoever cut Nick's hair. Man, he had like a nice little fade and slick. It was a little slick thing going on here. I mean, way to go, Nicholas. You look great. But you always do, you know. But thankfully, they did something with your little shaggy hairdo that you had going on there. Because I mean, Adam was looking pretty good, except when he climbed up the mountain. His hair was all over the place. But yes, thankfully Nick got his hair cut. They did something. He probably was like, "Look, you got to do something with my hair because this is getting out of control." Yeah. So Nick and Sharon, because we already know that they're gonna get back together. At one point in time, you kind of thought him and Phyllis would get back together, but it really just wasn't gelling that way. So yeah, Sharon and Nick were having a little conversation, a little bit of breakfast, you know, Crimson Lights, all nice and, you know, gooey, if you will. And she ends up basically saying to him, like, you know, I forgot how easy it is to talk to you. I forgot, like, you've always been there for me, you know, like, yeah, I want to know, you know, how do you feel about me? And, you know, just curious. And he's like, well, I could tell you, but I'd rather show you. So he leans in like he's getting ready to kiss her. In walks Chelsea and Adam. And they're like, okay, Nick, Sharon, you have to expect that you're out in the open, you're in the public there, and you're going to go do that somebody's going to see. And it just happened to be Chelsea and Adam. And they kind of like took it easy and smooth. It got to the point where even Adam, because Nick had left, Adam had said to her, well, looks like you guys are getting a little closer. You know, as a sense niece. And yeah, you know, and she goes, but hopefully whatever mistakes that we made in the past, we can, you know, not make them again and, you know, whatever. And he's like, well, that's great. Just don't let him hurt you again. Dum, dum, dum. Even Sharon's face was like, okay, Sharon has, yeah, at times she's hurt Nick for sure. But Nick has done her dirty on numerous occasions. I've never, ever, I say it, I've never been a Nick and Sharon fan. Never. But okay, whatever. They're older now. I'm older now. You know, it is what it is. Like, let me just let the show run and do what it needs to do. So yeah, that's that little side plate. On another plate, if you will, we did see Adam with Chelsea and the whole Newman Media as it pertains to a hit piece on Cain and the fact that he is Aristotle Dumas. And so everybody's buzzing over this, and apparently I guess he did like a 2-for-1 deal and he kind of trashed Billy as well. It was just a mess. We don't know what it said, but there's like some sort of hit piece where even Adam was like, it was fact checked. Okay, TMZ. It was fact checked. And so at some point in time, Billy walks in and he was just going crazy. Before that, earlier, at some point in time, Billy was, I think this was the beginning of the week, Billy was there at Crimson Lights with Adam and Nick there, and he's just going off the rails at Nick and the whole Newman family. And it got to the point where Billy said something about Nikki and, you know, with Chancellor, as it pertains to Chancellor, and how she's just, I don't know, she's just fooling around where it's concerned. And Nick's like, that's enough. That's enough. You don't talk about my mom. He always does it. You don't talk about my mom. And Adam's like, Nick, take it easy. He's not worth it. He's like, you know what? I agree with Billy. I agree with Adam. You're not worth it. Okay. And then push forward back to where Billy had come in at Newman Media, if you will, and was going on about this hit piece, and like, wow, I didn't think you guys were gonna go that far, but like, whatever, it is what it is. He's like going off to Adam. Adam's giving him bada bing, bada boom, bada bing, bada boom. Like, he's giving him insults left, right, and center. And Chelsea's like, Adam, stop. Adam, stop. Don't. Just leave him alone. He's like, well, geez, Chelsea, thank you for defending me, but, I'm used to this, blah, 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 blah. Oh, boy. Oh, I like to say I gave Adam, for that battle, Adam won. But okay, Billy, you have to expect that like, if you're involving yourself with Kane, you have to expect that there's going to be like fires going ablazing where you're concerned. But okay, and like, what do you have at this point? Like, you don't even have Abbott communications properly. Sally basically told you, like, looky here, what is going on? You're so focused on Chancellor, like, and I'm ready to go when it comes to Abbott communications, but like, you're pussyfooting around the place here. And he's like, you know what? You're right. You know what? You want to launch it? Launch it. I give you the green light. Go ahead. Okay. So she's like, wow, all right. I don't, this is going to be like Restless style. Oh, I miss Restless style. That was funny. But anyway, so yeah, Billy's kind of walking around town. He's like a sore loser type thing, but he's like trying to say that nothing scares him. It is what it is, and he's they can do whatever they want. He doesn't care. He goes over to Victoria's and he basically was like, you know what, I'm just concerned about the kids. I just want to make sure Johnny and Katie are okay. And yeah. And thank goodness this is where we saw Victoria had changed her clothes. Did something with her hair, nice bun in the back. She looked presentable, silver top, nice bow. It was beautiful. I will give her that. Could they have done a bit better? Absolutely. But from what that other thing was to this, worlds different. Thank you. Even Nikki's little green outfit kind of looked a little pale on her. I did like the shade of green. That is one of the nice Pantone colors of the season coming up. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. Yeah, that green apple type vibe. And her little brooch, I did like it. Not necessarily on her, but I'd rock it. Anyway, yeah, so he basically said to Victoria, I just want to make sure they're okay, blah, blah, blah. And Victoria just was like, yeah, they're okay. I appreciate that. Sorry that it went down like that. I didn't know that they were going to do that and say that about you. But I would have either tried to, intercept or at least let you know in advance to forewarn you it was coming. In my head, when did they have time to write this alleged hit piece? I'm confused. All right. Who else? Oh, let's just get this out the way. Cricket and Danny. Oh, my Lanta. Okay, let me backtrack a second because we got to get it out of the way because it was part of the week. So Daniel, he's sitting in the park strumming on his guitar, whatever music he's created. Um, at one point in time, the first time it was Phyllis had seen him, and she was like, "Oh, that's great, son! Bravo, ha, bravo!" And they got into it because she's talking about Cain and his plan. Why she told Daniel, I don't know. Daniel basically said, "Mom, you're nuts. What are you doing? Like, you need to get out and get out now. Don't get yourself all dirty up in this because this is not going to end well. Don't do it." She's like, "Why you don't support me? You always talk down to me. You need to like trust me." And Phyllis, neither one of your kids are going to be up for this malarkey that you're doing. So, as much as I love you, you no, they're not going to give you their high five towards this. It's not happening. Okay, that was that where Phyllis was concerned. He's now back in the park because he had took off. I don't know even know did he really leave the park? But anyway, he was back in the park. He's strumming on his guitar, whatever music he created. And then, bravo! It is Danny standing there. Oh, wow. And yeah, at some point in time, this whole story is like twofold, come to think of it. So, at some point in time, Daniel basically says that he's starting to develop feelings for Tessa. Did I not say this? It's the ha ha ha. It's the, oh, look, there's an animal, a sloth, an elephant in the sky. Yeah, there's the, oh, her standing behind him. Play an F chord. Um, Daniel, I don't know how to tell you this, but you gonna get her very easily. And Tessa, if you're watching, you know that you have developed something towards Daniel. Now, you don't know how to feel, but understand you were once with Noah's. Why am I bringing up Noah again? Is he coming back to the show? I'd actually love to see him back with, what was the Jack's granddaughter? Was it Allie? I'd like to see them two come back. Um, but yeah, no, yeah. She, Tessa, like, she's developing feelings for you, Daniel. So this is not going to be difficult. I know you don't want to like rock the boat where Mariah's concerned, but again, even Sharon's like, I have tried to reach out to Mariah, and up to now, she will say, "Well, newsflash, Sharon, she ain't telling nobody. None of us know. I can deduce that she killed somebody, but she ain't talking." And in my head, writers, don't bother telling us. We're over it. We don't care anymore. Oh, let her just ride off into the sunset and let Tessa and Daniel have a little fling on the side, and let baby Arya have like, you know, somebody else in her life to help her out because Mariah ain't cutting it. She is a loose cannon. Okay. So that was that. But then while at the park, Danny tells Daniel, "Well, I'll change the subject. Myself and with the proposal to Cricket, it worked." Well, of course it did, Danny Romalotti. And yes, he basically was asking him to be his best man. Oh well, he eventually accepted. All right, push forward to society. Um, Cricket is with Lauren. And the two of them were talking about Chance's funeral, and that was, again, we never saw anything like that. Apparently, Abby was there with little Dominic as well, and Nina and Jill, and who knows. So, while at Society, Cricket ends up telling um, Lauren, or showing her, that ding, 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 I'm engaged. And Lauren's like, oh my gosh, like, I'm so happy for you. Finally, you guys, you're back together and blah, blah, blah. So she basically asks Lauren to help her. I thought for sure she was going to ask her to be like her maid of honor, or with matron of honor. No can do. She just said, would you, help me find the perfect dress? Oh, that lead up, and that's what you wanted her for? Man, I'd have been like, wait, so you don't want me to be the matron of honor? This is what you want? Okay. So yeah, the two of them are sitting at the table, discussing bridal dresses, and Lauren's like, oh, maybe you want an A-line, oh, strapless, oh, mermaid, oh, maybe you want it all. It's like, what? Danny walks in, and it's like, oh, just nonsense. So anyway, that was that. And apparently they're supposed to get married in October. Please do not let us see this wedding. Let's just assume that they got married and ride off into the sunset. Please, just go. So what else happened? Okay, I guess the last major part was the fact that, well, there's a couple, but I'll leave out a couple of them anyway. But the last major part was the fact that Lily and Kane, like, she met up with him at his his train. She's like, what the hell? Did you like bring the train from Nice? No. I have one on every continent. Okay. He's developed a malady to flying. She's like, oh, that's news to me. That never was the case when we were together, but okay. So yeah, he thinks this is more romantic, and just, you could see the world. Kane, what's in your bonnet? I don't know, but that's weird. So yes, basically he's saying to Lily that he is still in love with her, and that the love that they shared, it was like a love like no other, and you just don't give up on that, and he's willing to give up on his, whatever moves he's trying to make, if basically she would say she'll kind of be with him. Remind me, isn't that some sort of almost like a duress type? How are you gonna tell her that? And of course Lily's like, no can do. Not gonna happen. You can miss me with that. And she's like, look, I'm not, you're crazy. Like, there's nothing going on between us. There never, and it hasn't been that way for years. And furthermore, like, we're not going to ever get back together. Again, I say they'll get back together. Especially now that there's no Damien in the picture. So I don't know. But she basically was like, she found out through Devon a text message that Newman Media had put this hit piece on him, and she's like, oh my god, oh my gosh, now the twins know, oh my gosh. You see, Kane, this is your fault. You were lying to them. He's like, well, I wasn't lying, but I just kind of withheld some information. You lied. Every time they talked to you, they would have said, like, how are you? Like, what's going on? You never said the truth. You never. It's you. And now look at oh, she just was like, You're breaking their heart. So she basically is like, looky here, composure. You say that you would give it up, all of it, for me. So guess what? Do that, and I'll help you where the kids are concerned. I'll help you smooth things over. He's like, well, uh, I, you could lie to me and you could say whatever, and then I could lie to you. And she's like, well, I don't have time for this. She's like, that's the deal. Take it or leave it. It's up to you. So I guess Maddie had kept calling her, and she wouldn't answer the phone because she's waiting for Kane to give his answer. And basically, they came to an impasse. Neither is budging, and he's like, look, whatever. So she's like, I'm gonna tell them everything. Like, you snooze, you lose, buddy boy. And he eventually calls and leaves a message for Charlie and says that he'd like to talk to both him and his sister at the same time and tell them what's going on. So it was that, albeit somber, like, moment. I won't say somber, but it was just like, you're supposed to kind of feel sorry for him. You heard the music, and I'm like, ain't nobody buying any of this nonsense, but okay. At some point in time, I should mention that Holden came to the train while Lily was there, and she's like, Holden? Pardon? What are you doing here? He's like, a job opportunity. So basically, she's like, oh, well, what job is that? And Kane's like, well, I have properties to run. She's like, that's funny. You fired him, and now you've rehired him? That's weird. And she says, you know what? I don't care. Holden, do you. But just so you know, him right there, I wouldn't trust him. If I were you, basically don't say I didn't warn you. Okay. So, yes, Lily had left. Holden was still there, is talking about the properties. And then he mentioned something concerning Lily. And Kane just was like, whoop, whoop. Yes, she may be this, but you better not say not one negative thing about her in front of anybody. That's like, that was almost like a death threat. And he's like, wait, got you, boss. So yeah, and I think the last thing is the fact that Victor wants like peace in the camp, if you will, where Kane's concerned, just because he wants to figure out his next move. So he's commissioned Nicholas to basically soothe the waters where Kane's concerned, almost befriend him. Yeah, there's about to be a shakedown in Genoa City again. Like, you can feel it in the air. It's a coming. So as I said, this week it had a bit of this is okay. A couple of boring, but overall, I ain't mad at it. It's better than what it has been in quite some time. So there you have it, folks. Again, I can't go over everything. There's a couple of things, but they really weren't important. So if you did stick around to the end of this video, I am so grateful. I love you lots. I appreciate your time. Everything under the sun. And yeah, we're going to see what this week holds. And hopefully it's going to start picking up. And hopefully Audra gets her crash and burn. And let's just see what little Claire has in store. So again, if you like this type of content, you like what you see, you like what you hear, it would be so kind if you hit that like and subscribe, and also the bell notification. And we will see what's going to happen, as I said, and I will catch you on the next video. Bye.